Big news coming in from the Supreme Court, where a specific prayer had been filed seeking a stay on the protests that have been planned by certain groups, including the VHP, in different parts of the country. The Supreme Court has now responded by saying that there will not be a stay on the protest. The protest can go ahead. However, precautions need to be taken to ensure that there is no hate speech and no law and order problem. So those are the directions coming from the Supreme Court to the authorities. Let me go across immediately to Bhavtosh for more on this. Bhavtosh, tell us about what happened in court, because the specific prayer had sought directions from the court to actually stop these 23 protests that have been planned in different parts of the Delhi-NCR region. There won't be a stay on the protests. However, certain precautions need to be taken. What are those precautions prescribed by the court, Bhavtosh?
Siddharth, our legal editor has just broken the story that directions have been given by the Supreme Court. Those directions include the fact that there would be no hate speech, because Supreme Court, even in an earlier orders and directions that have been issued, is that no hate speech will be given in any of the protests or in any of the demonstrations by any religious outfit. But we have seen time and again, whenever these protests are held, obviously there are instances when hate speech have been given, and cases have been filed, but belatedly cases have been filed when either Supreme Court has intervened or High Court have intervened. But as far as the petitioner's request was concerned, in which he had said that there should be a ban on protest, that has not been accepted. A new date, the matter has been adjourned for 4th of August. He wanted that across NCR there should be a ban on rallies that were being planned and protests that were being planned by VHP as well as by Bajrang Dal. The other request was that the rally and the protest that was held earlier, that's on a few days back, had in fact led to these riots in Nuh and in adjoining parts of Gurgaon. Justice Sanjiv Khanna in fact said that did it lead to did the hate speech lead to the violence? The advocate of the petitioner did mention this, but at that point of time, the government did not, in fact, reply to that. Justice Khanna, in fact, said that there are, in fact, guidelines of the Supreme Court which clearly mentions that no hate speech should be given in any such rallies or protests. What the Supreme Court has said that it's a fundamental right of any individual to hold any protest or rally, but Supreme Court has made it very clear that in these rallies and protests, no such speeches or such comments be made which in fact leads to hate speech or in fact leads to promoting of enmity. There are in fact guidelines under section 153A of IPC in which an individual can be booked, but we have seen in past that police is in fact very slow in booking individuals in such cases.